Man, what a great job. I mean, Buzz is just one of one, man. He's a culture guy, and he gets his guys to play hard and grind it out, and they're down a really, really important piece, and they're still playing just tough and hard-nosed and elite-level basketball, and that's a real credit to him and those guys. They're playing really hard, and they're clearly a really, really good team. They're I think top 10 or 11 team in the country. And they fought tonight. Couldn't be more proud of our guys. I love winning a game where we never felt great. We didn't feel great at any. There was no 60-second. Maybe there was a 60-second. There was no 3-minute run where we felt great, where we felt like we really got into a flow. And for our guys to win that game is really important. I like the way that we can win different ways, and proud of our effort on the glass, our effort on the defensive end, and we still can get so much better. So take any questions.
Mark Jackson, another good offensive performance tonight, but also the 8 rebounds. I know that's been an important part of his game. Just what do you keep seeing from him there?
Well, the best thing for Jackson, he missed his first 3 or 4, maybe, give or take, and it's just fun to see growth, right? He could, you miss your first 3 or 4 shots, and you can start evaluating if you're having a night or not, and he didn't, and so. He turns that kind of slow start into a night where he's pretty productive. I thought he's been consistently great on the defensive end. He's been consistently trying to grow his game on the toughness end, and for him to be in this game, like this particular game, the way this thing rolls, and do what he did on the glass with 1 offensive and 7 defensive is massive. One of the things we've been talking about is our guards making a bigger impact. Ortega had 8 last game. Jax had 7 this game, and that is a massive difference maker for us on the glass. It's pretty great.
Coach, you talked about how you wasn't as worried about assists, but you were more worried about leading to open shots, is what you said in the postgame the other day. And tonight it felt like in the first half that there was open shots, they just weren't falling. But then it didn't seem like the default was to go one-on-one, and they stayed in the offense, and the shots started falling.
Yeah.
Is that true? And if so, how do you feel about that?
Well, a couple things. We started out 1 for 11. Is that true? From 3, and so, that's not very fun. But it's, we practice this every day. We've talked about this Bucks drill, this shooting drill we do every day, where we have to get to 140, and a lot of days it's 2-minute drill, and a lot of days, and it's continuous. And a lot of days that you're looking up at the shot clock or the scoreboard at 1 minute, it's 55, and the guys just keep going, and they know that they're going to start making shots. And so to start, 1 for 11. Who's my math major? It's 8%, 7%, and finish up solid 33% is pretty great. Especially against an unbelievable defensive team like this. I am proud. I love the fact that we got close to 30. I wish we got to 30. I did feel like the guys were, we never were flowing great offensively, but we just kept fighting until we kind of found some cracks. But I thought they were terrific defensively tonight. I thought they really caused some issues. It gives a sense of how potent we are offensively. You feel like it's a night where you just can't get a bucket and you put up 81. It's pretty great. It's fun to have that team.
Mark, just 2 games ago, you guys were kind of searching for answers on the glass to out-rebound A&M, one of the best rebounding teams in the country, best offensive rebounding teams in the country by 10, and kind of dominate them physically at times. Just how impressive was that?
It's awesome, isn't it? I was saying in one of the pregame things, I can't remember, you're really blessed as a coach when you have great students. And what I mean by that is our guys want to learn. Like when we point our guys in a direction, our guys go. Like it's unbelievable. And that sounds so simple, but it actually doesn't happen in basketball with very many teams. But when our guys dig into a focus, it might not be an immediate payoff in a day, but over the course of a week or 2 weeks or a month, these guys every single time have kind of answered the bell and actually got better. For us to be 40-30, if you told me it was going to be 40-30, and we're going to out offensive rebound them by 1, and we're going to hold two of the best offensive rebounders in the entire country, their starting five and their backup five, to only one offensive rebound between them. That's an epic effort by our guys, and I'm really proud. And I'm saying that because we have so much respect for what Texas A&M does on the glass. They're incredible on the glass. They average 44% of their offense. They offensive rebound 44% of the opportunities. That's an insane number. And they came in there as number one in the country. So,
Mark, Texas A&M is a pretty tough opponent for Travis Perry to be forced to play maybe a little more. Seems to be getting more comfortable and even gave you, it looks like, a spark early.
Yeah, TP is just like, he's terrific, isn't he? Against a really complicated defense. Like, this is not an easy defense to kind of figure out. Like, what our guys are pretty good at is they're pretty good at figuring out what they're seeing, and we're pretty good about coaching them. And when things change as much as they did with Texas A&M, that's the next step for us, is to be able to really change with the changes. But TP, it was big shots. Really big shots, right? They made us feel a whole lot better. And he's got no fear. And he's just going out to play. And, it's fun. If you chart his trajectory, you just get to see these little steps that he's taken. We all get to see it. It's one of the great things about coaching and being fans that are really invested, which is BBN, is you actually get to see like the beginning and the middle and the growth, and then we get to prognosticate about where they're going, and to see these guys grow is special. And TP is definitely do that. This is a high pressure game. It's a top 10 game against one of the best defenses in the country, and he was terrific.
All the way in the back.
Coach, in a game where there's plenty of opportunities for frustration to set in, what prevented it from happening tonight? Well,
there was a lot of frustration. That's what Texas A&M does really well. Our guys, that's something that we'll continue to work on all season long. Is just our guys do a bunch of things. One is there was so much good happening on the floor. Like, we felt good on the glass all night long. In fact, in the first half, we gave up 2 offensive rebounds in the first half, minus 2 possessions, where we gave up 5 offensive rebounds in those 2 possessions. But there was so much good for us to keep talking about in timeouts, for us to keep focusing on. And I think when you kind of keep focusing on what you're doing well, I think it gives you some staying power. So, and our guys are pretty good about metabolizing frustration. They're pretty good at that, and which is massively important. If you're going to be a good team, you better be able to get rid of frustration. You better be able to just absorb it and spit it out, and our guys can do it.
Mark, on the heels of that, how much of that is just based on the experience, the amount of experience you have in veteran guys who've kind of been through these situations?
For sure, it's experience. For sure, that's a huge part. I would say that's secondary to our guys' connectedness. I think our guys and their focus. So our guys are unbelievably connected, and that gives them staying power. They care about each other. They want to fight for each other. They want to celebrate each other. And that connectedness, they want to help each other. And so that connectedness really matters. And our team's ability to focus on the challenge. Like, we know exactly what the challenge is. We know the challenge is that we're super frustrated right now. Okay, let's get that out, and let's move on to the next thing. The guys' focus is great, and their experience is also a huge part of it.
Mark, you mentioned even a couple of weeks ago, just going back to the offensive rebounding and the glass, just even you guys as a coaching staff maybe wondering if you were focusing too much on it in practice or in film and trying to get it to translate. But just over the last 2 games, Mississippi State and now A&M, was there something that you guys as coaches identified, changed, tweaked in terms of trying to implement that with your players, or did it just kind of finally resonate with them?
It's growing is super complicated, right? So we've put a huge emphasis on it. It's the Matt Santoro project. You should all chase down Matt. So Matt has a staff that we'll usually have 12 segments in practice, and 7 of them will be live. And so Matt live stats with his team every single rebound that goes up and who's getting a hit. So it's not just getting a rebound, but it's actually doing their job, blocking out, getting a hit. And then he makes an announcement over either the loudspeaker here up, so he'll be on the Jumbotron. When we practice here, it's actually quite entertaining. And then in the JCC, he has a megaphone. I don't know where he got this thing, but credit to him, he got a megaphone. And so he makes the announcement after every single segment. So we believe what you focus on broadens. And then our staff has done an unbelievable job about, at the beginning, cherry picking unbelievable efforts so our guys could see what it looks like to be successful. And now it's getting easy. And now the guys are having fun with it. And Matt Santoro is handing out a formal certificate. Our genius graphic designer, Addie Feldhaus, is making these incredible certificates. And after every game, the hit champion, on Thursday, we'll present the hit champ of this game with an official certificate. Ansley Almanor is 2 for 2. So we'll see if he goes 3 straight games. But I think what you focus on, Bronze, I think our staff and our players are doing a great job with it. It's pretty fun. It's really fun when you see these results, yeah?
Mark, hey, I know you love stats and numbers, and so here's one for you. Is it 27 points the other day, 22 tonight? It's the most that Jackson's ever scored in a 2-game stretch in his entire college career. So when you throw in who the 2 opponents were and throw in the 8 rebounds tonight, does it feel like to you this is the best you've ever seen him play in kind of a consecutive game stretch?
I think it's probably the most well-rounded that I've seen him play. So the 27 and the 22 stand out. 1 game on the road, 1 game here against essentially two top 10 teams. I think 14 and 11, give or take, something like that. I don't know. But it's really not the scoring. It's his contribution on the defensive end. He had a huge defensive play in the guts of the game where he had to pick up the point, and Phelps is devastating off the bounce. Like, he caused Alabama, when you watch the film, he was just causing so much frustration because he was getting downhill every time, and Jackson immediately jumped in, kind of met him with a championship chest, took away the reject, and it was like, this is fine. He's making plays like that consistently on the defensive end. His blind cut from the corner late in the game, 4 minutes, maybe 5 minutes late for the dunk, was a huge play that's an IQ play for a space guy to actually be able to internalize the game and see when defenders are going blind and to make that kind of time it up. It's those plays that I think are setting him apart. It's the 8 rebounds, right? That's the space. It's the resilience of missing his first 3 or 4 shots. And you think, man, was the other night just an anomaly, and I'm going back to it, and he didn't. He's like, nope, I'm here to play, and I'm going to keep making plays, and so it's all those pieces of his game that are pretty exciting, man. It's like I said, it's awesome to watch guys grow, and I've had the great honor and privilege of watching him grow for 3 years.
Mark, as part of the rebounding that you discussed earlier with Amari, how much of that discussion involved going in and kind of attacking it with 2 hands? And it looked like the best he's done with that.
Man, he looked like a man-child on the glass, didn't he? My goodness, he was a man on the glass. I was really proud of him tonight. He's, it's interesting. So Amari's played at a much different level basketball for the last 3 years. And I think what's fun right now is he's been given permission by the whistle to actually use his physicality, which he couldn't use at Drexel. It was a much different deal, right? It was kind of like, I'm playing against smaller guys. If I touch somebody, they're going to fall over. I'm going to get a whistle. So this adjustment for him now, where he's like, wait, I can run dudes over and it's okay. It gets fun. I think he's having a great time, man, and he's fighting for his team. We talked about this after the last game, but he loves his guy. He got just a ginormous, I know that's not a word, but I'm going to use it anyway, a ginormous heart. And he was I thought he was brilliant today. I thought he was so good. He was just a commanding presence on the glass. He was a man among men. That was a bunch of men on the court today. It was super cool.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.